Okay, so let's talk about the one interview that just terrifies aspiring product managers, especially if you don't have a computer science degree. You know the one I'm talking about, the technical round. They ask you to design a system, explain some algorithm, and boom, that imposter syndrome kicks in hard. But here's the thing, what if that entire fear is built on a complete misunderstanding?
This right here, this is the secret. You have to understand this. They're not trying to catch you out or prove you can't code. That question, how would you build this? It's a test for sure, but it's a test of something completely different, something that's actually way more important for a great product manager.
So here's our game plan. We're gonna walk you through a roadmap to turn that anxiety into pure confidence. We'll start by busting the biggest myth out there. Then we'll get into what they're really looking for. We'll cover the essential tech concepts you need, give you a simple 4-step framework to answer any question, and then we'll wrap up with the common traps to avoid and a prep plan you can start on like today.
All right, first things first. Let's just get this out of the way, loud and clear. If you're going for a standard PM job, this interview is not, I repeat, it is not a coding test.
Look, I get it. You're probably picturing yourself sweating in front of a whiteboard, trying to write code or design some crazy complex system. But that's not what they want. What they're really looking for is totally different. They want to see your curiosity shine. They want to see if you can communicate clearly. And most of all, they want to see how you think, how you structure your thoughts when you're hit with a tough problem.
And this really just nails it. The thing that connects a great PM and a great engineer, it isn't code. It's curiosity. It's that shared drive to just pull a problem apart, look at all the pieces, and explore different ways to put them back together. That is what they're testing.
So if it's not about your coding chops, then what's it really all about? Well, it all boils down to one thing: proving you've got the right mindset to lead a team of engineers. Just put yourself in their shoes for a second. These engineers are the ones who are actually going to build your vision. They need to know, they need to trust that you get their world, At least at a high level. They're looking for a partner, a leader, not just some manager who drops off a to-do list. And this is why it all matters so much. In this world, respect is everything. It's how you get things done. When you can actually hold a technical conversation, ask smart questions, and really understand the trade-offs they're talking about, that's how you build credibility. You're not just a business person anymore. You're part of the team. That's real leadership.
Okay, so you don't need to be a coding genius, but you do need to be fluent. You need to speak the language. So let's build up that technical intuition by breaking down a few core ideas you absolutely have to know.
First up, the API. Seriously, you'll hear this one all the time. It's just how different pieces of software talk to each other. You know when your Maps app shows you where the closest coffee shop is? It's probably using an API to ask Yelp or Google for that info. The waiter analogy is perfect. It's just the messenger.
Next, the database. Super simple, this is just where all the stuff lives. All the user profiles, every product in an e-commerce store, all your Instagram posts, it's all tucked away neatly in a database so the app can find it and show it to you in a snap. And finally, the client-server model. This is basically the architecture of the entire internet. Your web browser or your phone, that's the client. It's asking for something. And somewhere out there is a big, powerful computer, the server, that has the web page or data you want and sends it back. That's it. Understanding that basic back and forth is key. Okay, so you've got the building blocks down, but how do you actually use them when you're in the hot seat? Let's get to the game plan. This is a super simple, repeatable framework you can use for pretty much any technical question they throw at you.
This is your secret weapon. Number 1, always clarify. Don't just jump in. Ask questions. What's the real goal here? Who's this for? Number 2, start small. Don't try to design for 1 billion users right away. Just solve the simplest version of the problem first. Number 3, and this is the magic right here, talk out loud. Explain what's going through your head. This is where you show off that curiosity we were talking about. And finally, number 4, just wrap it up with a quick summary of your solution.
And really, it all comes down to those first few steps, right? It's about making sure you understand the question, and then letting the interviewer see how your brain works. The framework isn't a script you memorize. It's a tool to make sure you're showing them how you think, not just what you know. It's about the process.
But listen, even with a great framework, you can still stumble. So let's talk about the most common traps people fall into, just so you know what to watch out for.
The biggest one by far is sounding like a robot. If you just go through the framework like a checklist, step 1, I will clarify. Step 2, I will start with the base case. It just sounds forced and inexperienced. The interviewer will start to worry that you can't actually think on your feet.
And that leads right into the next mistake, trying to memorize like 10 different frameworks for every possible question. It never works. You end up with a really shallow understanding of all of them. It is so much better to deeply understand one simple, flexible approach than to try and shoehorn in some complicated framework you barely remember.
And oh man, please avoid the buzzword trap. This is a huge red flag. Don't be the person who says, "Oh, for that, we'll just use some machine learning." If you can't follow that up with even a high-level idea of what data you'd use or what you'd be trying to predict, it just screams that you don't really know what you're talking about.
So the best part about all of this, it's a skill, and that means you can learn it. You do not need to pause your life and go to a coding bootcamp. Here's a simple, actionable plan you can get started on right away.
Seriously, start simple. Pick an app you use every day, Spotify, TikTok, whatever. Try to sketch out how you think it works using those concepts like APIs and databases. You'll pretty quickly find things you don't know, and then you can go watch a few YouTube videos on that topic. Then the most important part, grab a friend and practice that 4-step framework out loud. And as you're doing that, think about your own experience. Find a story about a time you had to make a tough technical trade-off and get ready to tell it.
So I'll just leave you with this. The whole interview changes the second you change how you see it. It's not a wall designed to keep you out. It's an open door. It's an invitation for you to show how you think, how you collaborate, and how you lead. It's an invitation to be curious.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like.